Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. In my hands is a new racket from Tecnifibre. It's the Tfight 305 ISOFLEX. And what is ISOFLEX? It's a way that changes the way the racket flexes, the way it moves and vibrates. And that's the idea, is to create a bigger sweet spot, a more stable approach. Obviously, with all these technologies, we can ask ourselves the question, do they work? In this case, maybe it's hard to say. I can just tell you what I get from the racket. I played with pretty much all the Tfights that have been released in different iterations. There's been Tfight Limited, which is more of a control racket. This Tfight is a little bit more for an attacking advanced player. The reason I would say it's for an advanced player, and we get that straight out of the bat, is that it has a high swing weight, meaning that there's a lot of weight in the head, creating this high swing weight, and it is not that easy to move around. And the previous model called RS this one also has the RS beam. That was very good, had a bit of a higher stiffness rating. I did get a little bit of concern about my arm with that model. This one, they reduced the stiffness rating. I still feel it's going to be pretty sensitive for what string you use. So if you put a stiff string or a string at a high tension, it might be a stiff racket for you, especially since it is quite difficult to maneuver. So I find it to be a difficult racket to use, this racket. I can say that already. If you're more of an advanced player, you don't mind a high swing weight. You know, this racket provides great feel. It's very stable, and it gives you actually good power, thanks to the swing weight partly, I would say. Strung with Tecnifibre Racer Code White. This is the Iga Swiatek and Daniil Medvedev string, 1.35 gauge. I think it is strung around 53, 54 pounds. Based on the feel, I haven't been able to measure it. I've been traveling, so this review comes at you from Sweden. I haven't measured the swing weight. Tennis Warehouse Europe listed it at 335. And I would say this one is very, very similar because I have played with so many rackets, hundreds of rackets over the years, and I have a good sense of swing weight. I put one overgrip on here and used the string it came with because I like the feeling on the string. But as you can see here with this basic balance indication, is that the racket is pretty head heavy. I'm not saying it's head heavy overall, but it has a low headlight balance, 2-3 points, meaning so much weight in the head. And this has been the thing with the Tfight, and in part the TF40, although the recent TF40 is a little bit more forgiving, easier to use, better on the arm. So for most players, comparing this one to the TF40, I would recommend the TF40. You have the 16-19 pattern, here you have the 18-19, so it's a little bit more controlled, this one. But this one feels stiffer and is heavier. So for an advanced player that like a very crisp feeling, crisp meaning stiff but not overly much, so like a pro staff, for example, I think you like this a lot. You might need to add some weight in the handle. Whether you want to add a leather grip maybe, or wrap some lead tape underneath the base grip, it's a good option here to get the racket a bit more balanced. Because for me personally, I felt like it played a bit better when I did that. When it had this very low headlight balance, I felt like it was like a sledgehammer. I struggled in getting enough topspin. I had a lot of power. I struggled to control it. It felt good on serve, but overall it was a little bit much for me personally. So adding some weight in the handle will help. Sadly, Tecnifibre still has not added a trapdoor, meaning a way to open up this part and inject some silicone or other weights into the handle. So you would need to do it on the grip unless you have some very talented customizer. Maybe there's foam inside the handle. I cannot even check now because due to this. So there's definitely foam filling happening here. And usually what happens with foam filling is that you have a higher swing weight. This is what you're seeing with all brands with foam filling. You have Diadem, you have Engel, you have Tecnifibre. They're very, very prone to using foam. Great idea, foam, in one way, because it absorbs the vibrations when you hit, so the comfort is a bit improved. But the swing weights are generally higher, and the quality control, according to some racket technicians, is more difficult to achieve with the foam because it's harder to get that exact measurement. So the high swing weight is a worry for me. I don't know why they persist with that high swing weight. My buddy Henrik, he had a low swing weight on his, but felt like he needed to add some weight to get it up to 330. So perhaps if it's lower, it won't play as well. But 335 and the way this one spec'd up was a bit heavy for me. So I prefer the TF40, whether it's 1820 with the higher swing weight or the 1690. That's more my racket, better feeling. This one has a little bit more of a precision in the string bed. The string bed is stiffer, meaning I know exactly what happens in it, but since I cannot maneuver the racket rapidly enough, I did struggle with controlling the feel and the pace of this frame. If you're a very advanced player, if you like a higher swing weight, I think you'll really like it because it does give you exactly what you put into it. The TF40 has a little bit more movement in the string bed, so the strings will die on you faster and you might lose some control on some shots compared to this one, which is kind of rock solid in that sense. Tight string bed, very precise. But yeah, I did struggle with it due to the high swing weight. Cosmetic looks great. Overall, it plays quite similar to the predecessor. I felt like this one is a little bit more stable, a little bit more solid, crisper in feel from the string bed. So it is a tad different, but not that much different. So if you like the RS and you're not afraid of a high swing weight, I think you'll really enjoy it. But there's not going to be a huge upgrade compared to the RS, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about this racket. So give it a try. I'm keen to hear your opinions. Do you think that this is an improvement or just, a bit better or worse than the predecessor? Would this be something you play with? Please comment below. Really keen to hear it. What do you think of the paint? What do you think of the new Tecnifibre rackets? I'm a bit more in favor of the TF40, which I think is an excellent line of frames. But yeah, those are my opinions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out my affiliates. They're in the description, such as the Fuzzy Yellow Balls singles playbook, teaches you how to play better strategy, better tactics. How to beat pushers is one of the most popular chapters in this guide to utilize different plays to help you win more points. For example, against serve and volleyers, baseliners, whatever the playing style is of your opponent, you're going to get some ideas on how to break that down. I bought this book a year ago myself. I actually used quite a bit. Then they asked to sponsor my YouTube channel. I was very happy because I always like partnering with products I sincerely believe in. So check that out. The link is in the description. Also check out my other affiliates. You can buy this racket from Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, and Tennis Only. And I get a small commission if you use any of my links in the description. That is all. Have a nice day and don't forget to play some tennis.